What's going on, Peanut Butter? What's up, man? Let's jump into this live stream edition. We're going to go into the news of the week for the most part, fantasy football. We will also talk about your drafts. If you have drafts coming up, we'll talk about players. If you guys have already done your drafts, we'll talk about trades. We'll talk about pickouts. We'll talk about, you know, what your guys' teams are. Whatever questions you guys have for me, we will talk about it. And we will talk about, obviously, the Kupp news, the you know, we got Hawkinson news, we got Jacobs news, we got Jonathan Taylor news to get into. Let me turn my lights on real quick. Be right back. I need to get like a button for these lights, but it's been a very interesting week for fantasy football. I know I haven't been on other than our Madden streams. I've talked to you guys during our Madden streams, obviously. So let's go ahead and jump into pretty much all the big stuff for the most part. We'll go over some small stuff too. I don't really have all the printouts for them, for the you know, the little news cutouts, but we'll go over them. You know, like, you know, some other small stuff if I find something, you know, important enough to go over. So make sure that works. All right, cool. So TJ Hawkinson, Vikings agree on a contract extension. This was actually today. This was this morning. The details of the contract are, I believe they're like a four year, $66 million. They don't really have the details of the contract on this cutout. Yeah, 4 year worth up to 66 million, which can get to about 68.5 million according to league sources. This is good for him. I'm kind of shocked that they gave Hawkinson a deal before they got Jefferson's contract done. But let's not get it twisted. They're gonna get contracts, they're gonna get a contract done for Justin Jefferson as well. So, and you know, people need to probably pump the brakes. As far as like, oh, well, what's going on with JJ? So it looks like, so this according to Adam Schefter on ESPN, resets the tight end market. This deal, average annual salary for the deal is about $17.125 million. So 17.125. So that's pretty good. 42.5 million guaranteed, which is the highest for a tight end in the NFL in NFL history. So that's pretty good for him. I do like Hawkinson quite a bit. I think you know, if you get him in round 5, especially if you get him in round 6, I think you're stealing. I do like some other tight ends though as well. He's not the only guy. You know, if I miss out on Hawkinson, I'm not you know, I'm not too worried. I think Freiermuth's a good guy to take later. I think Kincaid, his draft stock is probably rising a little bit. I like him as well. And you know, I would maybe take a flyer on Waller if Waller was in like round 7 still in a particular draft. We'll see. But But this is good for the Vikings, and I wouldn't worry about Justin Jefferson. If you guys are worried about Jefferson not getting his contract, I wouldn't worry about it. I do think it's a little odd that they got this one done before Jefferson. Maybe they were already closer to terms with Hawkinson, as whereas Jefferson, maybe they're still kind of in negotiations, you know, and they're not as close. But they will get Jefferson signed. Jefferson's the best receiver of this era, you know, of really the last 4 years. He's going into year number 5 this year, I believe, right? Going to year 5 or 4? I think he's going into year 4. But anyways, he's going to get a deal done probably in the middle of the season or after the season's over. So, I'm gonna check here. I think he's going into year 4. He's going into year 4. I don't know why I said year 5. He's going into year 4. All right, so now let's dive into our next piece of news here. Kendre Miller is not practicing earlier today. Hamstring, did not practice today. John DeShazier on Twitter. Saints rookie running back is dealing with hamstring and he currently has no timetable to return to practice. Fantasy manager expect Jamal Williams to get the start in week 1 if Miller is unable to suit up. You might even see a little bit of Ellis Merriweather. I don't know. Did they get rid of Merriweather? I think they did. I think they cut him actually, or maybe he's a practice squad guy. Jamal Williams is going to get a pretty decent workload, I think, the first 2-3 weeks. You know, Miller is. It seems like Miller's just getting like an injury, like injury after injury, man. You know, you guys want to know who Miller kind of is reminding me of, kind of low key. He's kind of reminded me of Rashad Penny. Penny dealt with injuries early in his career, still is, obviously. Penny's one injury away from retirement, in my opinion. And this guy is getting off to a very similar start to his career, the way Penny did. I feel like pretty decent value pick. He went in the 3rd round of the draft. He's a very good running back at a TCU. Very, very good. Remember, he got hurt back in the college football playoff semifinal game. And it just, I don't know, man. I like this guy, but I don't like. Looks like Kirk Merritt is the 4th stringer. Jamal Williams is technically the 2nd stringer behind Kamara. So Kamara is the 1st stringer, but yeah, you know, he's missing the 3 games due to suspension. I don't even know who Kirk Merritt is. Arkansas State. He's a rookie, probably an undrafted rookie is what it looks like. Expect a lot of Jamal Williams week 1, I would say, and possibly week 2. They're gonna try to probably get Miller back by week 2. You know, and maybe he is ready to go this coming week. Technically, a week and a half away from opening day. Well, we're a week away from opening day, but we're a week and a half away from Sunday, September the 10th. So maybe he's back in time. But I don't think he's going to play much, and I think Miller's going to have some injuries linger throughout the season. If I'm drafting in best ball, if I'm drafting in any draft, you know, at this point, my top 2 options are Kamara and Williams. If you're looking for running backs out of this backfield, I think I'm leaving Miller alone. He was one of my sleepers. I said this back in May, but he was a sleeper for next year. He's a sleeper for a guy to possibly pick up. You know, at the end of the season, and you know, if you're allowed to keep him or look to get him next year. I would say I think this year is not really his year. Kamara's only missing 3 games. They went out and got Jamal Williams and paid him a decent amount of money. He's not going to get the opportunity that you're probably going to want out of him. Let's just say if you end up drafting him. So that's all we're going to say about Miller. I would kind of probably stay away from him. I would go get Kamara and Jamal Williams if I'm getting guys out of this backfield in particular. Kamara 1, Williams 2. Joe Burrow back at practice. Was going through individual drills today because of the calf, right? A calf injury is an injury that can linger, just like a hamstring, just like a groin injury. I'm not too worried about this though. I'm not worried as much about Burrow. They've given him plenty of time off. I think he will be ready to go for week 1. And he plays quarterback. He's not running like receivers are every single time the ball is snapped. He's not running like a running back. You know, I mean, he's moving around in the pocket, but he's not exploding off of that ankle or off the calf or whatever, the way a receiver is whenever they're using their hamstrings, their groin muscles, you know, stuff like that. So I think Joe Burrow's a good pick if you can get him in like round 5. If you get him even towards the end of round 4, I would take him as well if you need a quarterback. I would not be worried about the injury with him. You know, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about the missed training camp. You know, the missed time with his receivers. Him and Jamar Chase know each other like the back of each other's hand. Basically, they played college ball together. They played, 2 years in the league together now. We know what to expect. I think he's got good chemistry with T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. The chemistry may not be quite there with some of the younger receivers, but I don't think the younger receivers are going to play too much, unless there's like some injuries that pop up. I think the offensive line will be fine. You know, the offensive line's had pretty much all of training camp together. Even though Burrow's not there, I don't think that really matters. So draft Burrow with confidence is what I would tell you guys. Let's move on. I don't really have much to say about Burrow. I would just say take him if you want him and he's there in the 4th or the 5th, especially the 5th, take him. I guess it really just depends if you're in a 10 or a 12-man league. If you're in a 10-man league, there's a chance he could be there in the 5th for you. All right, George Kittle. George Kittle on the side at practice Thursday. He was doing individual drills on the side of practice today. This came after reports that he wasn't going to be practicing all week, so this is a promising sign that he'll be 100% healthy to start the season. Fantasy managers shouldn't expect him to return to practice at full capacity for the next few days. I don't even know what he's dealing with, to be honest. I guess maybe I haven't been keeping up enough. I would say he'll be ready to go. I'm not as high on Kittle this year. I would rather have Hawkinson. Both him and Hawkinson kind of go very, very similar spots. I would probably rather have Goddard and Waller around later as well. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I mean, I like Kittle, and I think it's good that Purdy's gonna be the quarterback, but I'm not sold on him at his ADP. I feel like I would rather have Goddard and Waller around later, to be honest, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. And so that's all I'm gonna say, is I would rather have Goddard and Waller. I'm starting to come around on Waller. I'm gonna try to get him in one of my drafts this coming week. We had a draft Tuesday. I wasn't technically in the draft, okay? My partner, who I'm partners with on Tuesday's draft that's coming up, I kind of helped him. He has a team that's by himself, like he's by himself in that league, and so I helped him a little bit in that league, and I was there to basically do the draft board, kind of see how, because a lot of the people that are in that draft that we did 2 days ago, a good handful of them are in the same draft that's coming up this week, and so I was kind of there to see how they drafted, take notes, see who they like, and figure out what we're gonna do. So we'll get into that probably a little bit later. Like I said, man, with Kittle, I think I would rather have Goddard and Waller in round 7, a round later, or round 6, whatever, wherever they're going now. Let me get this up and running real quick. Oh, it's already up. What do you know? All right, so we might jump into like a weekly winner draft here. after we're done with this news cycle. So moving on now, Tyreek Hill won't face disciplinary action from the league. This is good news if you're a Tyreek Hill owner, if you're a guy who likes Tyreek Hill, you want Tyreek Hill on your team. According to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, All-Pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill won't face any league action from the NFL for his role in an offseason incident at the Miami-Dade Marina when he smacked a guy on kind of the back of his head. Listen, we didn't think he was going to get anything. I didn't think he was going to get anything, to be honest. It's just kind of like a little, it's an unfortunate scenario. He probably shouldn't have put his hands on the guy, but it wasn't like something that got crazy out of hand. You know, it's kind of just like a little tussle, you know what I mean? Which I don't really look at it as a big deal. I don't look at tussles like, I don't really look at them as a big deal. I mean, I watch the UFC, I follow the UFC. I mean, this stuff happens all the time in the UFC, and I know those guys get paid to fight and everything, but it happens in real life too. You know, people get into tussles, arguments, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't really a fight. Nothing really happened. He just kind of had given the guy a little love tap on the back of the head. So I'm not surprised here. Says once Hill got the situation figured out legally, the eyes turned toward the league to decide if they would lay down any disciplinary action. Hill avoiding suspension secures his value further in NFL fantasy. Like, you know what I mean? This does do that, and it puts him well ahead of Cooper Kupp now. And we're going to get into Cooper Kupp here in a moment. Obviously, he is the big news of the day, and we will dive into that extensively here as soon as we go over our next topic here. So report out there, not Tyreek Hill. Report out there that the Packers Dolphins were willing to make Jonathan Taylor amongst the highest paid running backs in the NFL. And they were looking for a trade. The trade didn't happen. I know I haven't talked about this. This happened Tuesday, a couple nights ago. The deadline was Tuesday, roughly in the afternoon, for Jonathan Taylor and his agent basically to find a trade partner for the Colts to trade him. And the problem was there wasn't teams that could package together, I guess, what the Colts wanted in exchange for Jonathan Taylor's services. And so, and it's so weird, man. I kind of feel bad for these running backs. It's so ass backwards. Let's just put it that way. I mean, that's the correct word. It's ass backwards how, like, and like, I get it, man. They signed a contract. They're getting screwed by the CBA. Basically, the CBA and I think the Players Association is not looking out for these running backs very well. If I'm telling you right now, if I was a running back and I would be pissed at the Players Association. It's not even the NFL's fault. Like, it's not the owner's fault. It's the PA's fault. It's their fault that this is happening. It's nobody else's. And, you know, a lot of these running backs are going to have to become more versatile. They have to become more versatile to be able to be like a receiving option, like a very good receiving option, almost like a Christian McCaffrey or an Eckler. And it's funny too, because Eckler's been like that, but he hasn't even really been paid the way he probably should have been paid either. And he's 28 years old now. Eckler's going to be one of the guinea pigs for this whole scenario, because he's already 28 years old, or going to be 28 years old this year, and he has, like, he's against time, and he still hasn't gotten paid for what he's already done as a receiving back. And so Eckler's probably going to be the guinea pig in this scenario, where he never sees he's not going to see an extension to the point at which I think he would maybe want, because he's already going to be 28 and he's never rushed for 1,000 yards on top of that, which doesn't help. So he is kind of primarily a receiving back. So, but the problem is that these teams don't view the running backs good enough to pay them basically the money that they're worth, like a $15 million per year contract with a good guaranteed number. A lot of these teams, except for maybe like I said, there are a couple teams out there that will do it, and it says right here in this report that the Dolphins and the Packers were willing to make Taylor amongst the highest paid running backs. The ones that aren't really on board with that are teams like the Colts, teams like the like the Patriots. I don't think would do it. Obviously the Giants didn't do it. There's certain teams out there that have some of these running backs. The Raiders, they're not going to do it. But there are other teams out there and other owners out there that I think would be willing to pay a running back, the money that they're looking for. Whether or not it resets the market or not is, kind of up to them, obviously. But they're going to get, there's some teams out there that are willing to make them paid, basically the highest paid player at that position, or near McCaffrey's $16 million per year. And Taylor's just not currently on one of those teams. And here, like I said, here's the problem. They don't want to pay him that money. The Colts don't want to pay him that money. And they probably don't want to give him the guaranteed number that he's looking for either. But they view him as probably getting like at least a first round, maybe even a couple of first rounds, or a first and a second round pick for him. So if you view him as a first round, like oh, I have to get a first round guy for if I'm going to give you Taylor, but then they don't view him as first round money though. They don't view him as a first round dollar figure player basically, but they view him as a first round talent. So it's like, they don't want to pay him the money, but then they want, they want the same value of that money in terms of a player in return for him, whether it's a draft pick or a certain player, if they were going to trade him. And so it's just so weird. It's so weird. But they're allowed to do that because of the way the collective bargaining agreement is constructed. So the way that the CBA is constructed, they're allowed to kind of like not really have to pay the guy because they have the franchise tag in place and they have them on their rookie deals. But they don't have to trade him either because they view like, oh, well, we spent a second round pick on this guy. He's kind of performed like a first round pick, aside from last year. He's kind of performed like a first round pick in terms of play on the field, if you kind of take out last year. And so we want a first round talent for him if if we're going to trade him, but we're not going to pay him first round talent money. And so, it is what it is. They got to get the CBA figured out. They got to get it figured out and restructured. So, but this is very interesting. I'm telling you guys right now, ever since this news has come out, I didn't say it Tuesday really because I wasn't online. Well, I think I kind of said it. I think I kind of talked about it during my Madden streams. But I'm avoiding this guy completely. I'm not taking him in round 1, not taking him in round 2, not taking him in round 3. I don't even know if I would take him in round 4 or 5, to be honest. I really don't think I would. I'm staying away from this guy. I don't think this guy wants to play for the Colts. They already put him on the 4-week pup list. He's going to be out the first 4 weeks. They're going to try to trade him again in the middle of the season. They will try to trade him again in the middle of the season. There's a good chance I think he does get traded in the middle of the season. Very good chance. There's going to be running backs that go down that a team is going to be willing to give in, whether it's the Dolphins or whoever it is. They're going to be willing to give in and give the Colts what the Colts want in return for Taylor, because they're going to need a running back that bad. I don't know if it's going to be the Dolphins. I don't know if it's going to be the Packers. I don't know who it's going to be. But there's going to be a team out there who's already interested, like maybe the Packers or the Dolphins, who are going to need a running back come the middle of the year because there's going to be a 1 or 2 guys that get hit with injury, and they're going to be thin at the running back position, and they're going to give in and give the Colts what they want. So I would expect Taylor to be traded before week 8, which would be before November. So I would say in October somewhere. You guys can go ahead and write this down. I would expect Taylor to be traded sometime in October, if I'm being honest. But I'm not willing to spend a 3rd or 4th round fantasy pick on Taylor and hoping for that, and then on top of it, hoping that he can produce as well. So I'm about to get in. I'm about to get in the Kupp right now, bro. I'm about to get in the Kupp. So let's go to Kupp right now. Basically, don't draft JT. Okay, don't draft JT. Maybe take him in like round 7 if he fell to you. I don't think he'll fall to you. He fell to round 6 in my league the other night, and somebody took him in round 6. But I don't even know if I would have taken him in round 6, to be honest, dude. This relationship that he has with the Colts is not good, and you're basically hoping that he gets traded in the middle of the season if you take Taylor. Okay, and on top of it, you're hoping that he's still able to produce. He's not gonna I don't think he's gonna produce for just about anybody the first 5 or 6 weeks. Obviously, he's not gonna produce the first 4 weeks because he's on the pup, and he's gonna be mandatory, you know, sitting out those 4 games. So I'm just staying away from him, dude. I'm definitely staying away from him in the first 5 rounds. Like, it's not even a discussion. All right, let's go Cooper Kupp here. Cooper Kupp, hamstring, suffered a setback day to day. So Cooper Kupp suffered a setback in his recovery and is now considered day to day. This was according to Adam Schefter on Twitter. This did come from Sean McVay, I believe. Yeah, McVay says he's considered day to day for now. It remains to be seen when he will be back on the field. This is slightly concerning for the veterans' fantasy outlook. I don't have a ton of Cooper Kupp. I do have him a little bit. I probably have him a little more than I want right now. This guy, I'm not taking. I'm not taking in the first 2 rounds at least. I don't even know if I would take him in round 3. It's close. You know, maybe if I was drafting towards the back of round 3 and I needed a receiver and he fell, I would maybe take him, but I'm not taking him in the first 2 rounds. There's no way. No way, Jose. And I'm gonna pull up this injury stuff. This is, and look, I told you guys back when he first hurt his hamstring, right? And Draft Sharks didn't have the injury. Draft Sharks did not have the injury on their website at the time, and this was like a day after he got hurt. They hadn't updated their website to put like what the injury was. But I told you guys, if you guys go back and look, I told you guys I thought it was a grade 2 hamstring. It was the same. I said it's probably the same thing that Keenan Allen had, which Keenan Allen last year, if you guys remember, he had a grade 2 hamstring week 1, and he didn't play until like week 11. Like anybody that had Keenan Allen on their team, they you know, they know this. They know this very, very well. And I told you guys like the day after we heard about the injury, I said it sounds like it's a grade 2 because they said it wasn't very, like they didn't say it was super severe, but they didn't say it was like you know, a tweak or anything. They said it was kind of moderate, and I said this sounds like a grade 2, which is the same thing that Keenan Allen had. And if you guys remember, Keenan Allen, who was the same age as Cooper Kupp is this year, 30. He's going to be 30 this year. So they're older receivers, both of them, you know, older receivers. And it lingered all season pretty much until week 11 for Keenan Allen. It took Keenan Allen 10 weeks to get over this. It took him 9 weeks and the bye. So that's 10 weeks. It took him 10 weeks to get over after the grade 2 hamstring pull on week 1, like in week 1, right? Now we got this guy, Cooper Kupp, has the same injury, August 1st, right? A month ago, basically a month ago. And then he re-aggravates literally a month later. So from the 1st to the 31st, he re-aggravates it. It's on the same leg. It's on the same leg as all of his other injuries. So this is a compensation injury. This is a compensation injury, probably from the tightrope surgery that he had on his ankle, on you know, the ankle that he missed the second half of the season for, that he had to have surgery on. And so this is not good, guys. This is not good. I'm trying to break this down to you guys. This is why I'm not taking him in round 1 or 2. He fell to round 2 in that draft the other night. And I expect him probably next week. And well, I mean, the one draft's an auction league and he's being kept by somebody, thank goodness. But in the other league that I'm in next week, it's a redraft league. He's probably going to go in round 3, if I had to guess, because a lot of people in that league kind of know what they're doing. I can't stress this enough. Don't draft this guy in the first 2 rounds. I wouldn't do it. I think this is going to linger all season now. He just re-aggravated a grade 2 hamstring pull. Hamstrings for receivers are one of the worst injuries that you can really get, because it's not like they're out. It's not like a broken leg where they can't play for 6 weeks or 7 weeks. It's going to be an injury that just prolongs throughout the season. It's going to keep flaring up. It's going to keep coming back. He might play 1 week, but then the next week you don't know. You know what I mean? It's going to be a coin flip probably for the first 6 or 7 weeks of whether or not he plays or doesn't play. And so you're going to get inconsistent play from him, and you can't have inconsistent play, or even like I said, think about Keenan Allen last year. Imagine if, and I think Keenan Allen was going in like round 3 last year of most drafts. Maybe he was sliding to about round 4, maybe. I doubt it, but he was mostly a round 3 guy, and he's kind of a round 3, round 4 guy this year too. But imagine if Keenan Allen was a 2nd round pick or a top 5 pick. Cooper Kupp was a top 5 pick pretty much all offseason up until the first injury. So you got offered Ridley and Dobbins for Kupp. I would probably take it. I would rather get another running back other than Dobbins, though. Does he have any other running backs on his team that's not Dobbins that are good? Like in that 5th or 6th round territory? I mean, listen, Cooper Kupp he's good, man. He's a good player, but he is 30 years old. He's on his way out, I think. He's on a team that's terrible, that's going to be terrible this year. And he's got a re-aggravated injury that is a receiver killer. Hamstrings are like, think about Julio Jones when he was 32, 33 years old. The last 2 years, he's had hamstring issues, and he was never able to stay he's never able to stay on the field because of his age. You got to think, he had so much mileage on him. He's older. It's tough for these guys in their 30s to get over these injuries and come back. Like it'd be different for like somebody like Chase or Jefferson, who's 23, 24 years old, who hasn't been in the league for, as long as somebody like Keenan Allen or Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp's only went over 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. Okay, he barely went over 1,000 yards a little early on in his career, and then he had the Triple Crown year. Yes, Chubb, Brees, and P. Ryan, so I don't know. He didn't want to give me Brees in the first, but I was gonna say, go get Brees. Go get Brees, dude. He didn't want to give me Brees in the first place. I don't like Dobbins. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Dobbins, really. Is this full PPR or half PPR, man? Is it full or half? If it's full, you could take a chance with P. Ryan. I think P. Ryan is gonna be a little better than people think. But you have to get Ridley to go with him. Like, you can't just get him for one of these. You have to get Ridley, and you have to get I mean, if you like Dobbins enough, you can gamble it, but I think it's full PPR. I know this is gonna sound crazy to you, but go get, you got St. Brown, Zay Flowers, McLaurin, Quentin Johnson, and Gabe Davis. Ooh. I would say go get Ridley and P. Ryan, I would say. I think, I'm telling you guys right now, man, and I was telling my buddy this, who has Cooper Kupp on his team. I told him, I said, you better get rid of him now, because if he starts missing games, you're not going to be able to get rid of him. And if you are able to get rid of him, you're not going to be able to get him for what you want. I think Ridley and P. Ryan is a bargain. I think it's a good bargain. I would take it if it was me. If it was me, I would take it, because I don't believe Kupp is going to be fully healthy this year. Like, I don't think he's playing every single game. And I think, look, dude, he had a grade 2 hamstring, which is what Keenan Allen missed 10 games with last year, and he just re-aggravated it a week before the season opener. He re-aggravated it a week before the season. Let somebody else take the chance on that. You know what I mean? One of the main rules of fantasy is don't draft a player that has injuries. Don't draft a player that has injuries in August. So drafted at 9 p.m. last night just to see the news of his re. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's what I'm saying, man. And I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told my buddy who's in the other league. I said I would put a trade out there for him right now before next week, or definitely before week 1, because if he misses week 1, let's just say he's not ready to go. He misses week 1. You're not gonna be able to get an 8th round pick probably for him, or even like a 5th rounder. You're talking Ridley and P. Ryan. P. Ryan is a 9th round running back. He's a good running back though, I think, in full PPR. And Ridley's a 3rd, dare I say, the end of round 2 pick. He's an end of a round 2 pick, beginning of round 3 pick. So you're getting a round 3 and a round 8 or 9 running back for Kupp. I say do it. I say do it, man, because you're not going to be able to get that if he starts missing games. There's no way. Thoughts on my team 10 team QB is Hurts. Receiver 1's Waddle, Cooper, Pollard, Madison. Pitts. Super flex is Justin Fields. Full PPR super flex league. That's really good, man. That's really good. I like Pollard. I think Pollard's a top 5 running back, or he's close to a top 5 running back. And you got Hurts and Fields in super flex. That's like stealing. I don't mind Waddle as a receiver 1. Cooper's not bad as a receiver 2. I mean, you're a little, you could be a little better receiver, but it's good. It's good enough whenever you got Hurts and Fields. Kyle Pitts at tight end isn't bad either. So there are some other tight ends I do prefer over Kyle Pitts, but with the team that you have, you drafted 7th and somehow got Hurts and Fields. Yeah, dude, that's like stealing. You need to call the police, bro. Call the police. I'll call the police on you for getting that. There's no way.
Robbery in progress.
So, yeah, dude, that's really good. Somehow was interested in giving me Garrett Wilson for Kupp. If you can get Garrett Wilson for Kupp, straight up, do it. Do it. Forget Ridley and forget P. Ryan. If you get Garrett Wilson straight up for Cooper Kupp, punch it. Right now, punch it. You will not regret it. Reese says he's got Ayuk on the bench. Was thinking of trading Ayuk and Madison for Aaron Jones? Question mark. Ayuk and Madison for Aaron Jones? No, there's no way, bro. There's no way. And the reason why I say there's no way, and it's not that I don't like Aaron Jones. I do like Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones is a 5th round pick. Ayuk and Madison are both 5th. You're giving up 2 5th rounders for a 5th rounder. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can maybe say Aaron Jones is like a 4th rounder, but he's like a 4th, 5th, and I mean, according to the Underdog ADPs, and I'll pull them up for you. I'll pull up the Underdog ADPs for you so you know where I'm coming from. But let's go down here. You got Madison at 59.1, so that's the end of round 5, right? Aaron Jones goes he's the first pick of round 5. So first pick of round 5. Madison's the last pick of round 5. And then you have Ayuk, who is right. Is Ayuk falling a little bit? No. Where's Brandon Ayuk at? There he is, right here. Who's 49.5, right below Aaron Jones. So you're talking pick 49.5 according to the ADP, the Underdog ADP, and you're talking 59.1 or a 49.2 player. So I don't know, man. How deep is my hatred for the Raiders? I don't hate the Raiders. I don't hate them. They I like the Raiders because the Raiders suck every year, and they're like a free victory, dude, every year for us. I love it. I don't even remember the last time the Raiders beat us. I was like in high school the last time they beat us, dude. That was a while ago. It's not that I hate the Raiders. I don't really hate any football team. I don't hate any. I like all the teams, to be honest. I don't like their front office. I think the Raiders' front office has done their fans dirty over the last few years. Just making bad decision after bad decision. I mean, I like to make fun of them every now and then, but I make fun of a lot of teams. We're going to be making fun of the Cardinals all year this year because they're going to suck. We're going to be making fun of, we'll be making fun of the Jets if the Jets turn out to be really, really bad, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I make fun of my Chiefs sometimes. They'll the Chiefs are like notorious for getting like a team to third and long, like 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, and they'll give up a freaking first down, And I'll be like watching and be like, how do you give up a first down on 3rd and 20? Like, it should be impossible, right? You're just hoping Ayuk and Pacheco for Jones, but I don't think I would get that. I would do that too. I would do that because I don't really. I'm a Chiefs fan and I don't even really like Pacheco. I think Pacheco is a bad pick this year in fantasy. Whether you get him in round 7 or 8 this year, I don't think it matters. So to me, that would just be like a Ayuk for Aaron Jones, which I wouldn't be against if you really needed a running back or if you think you need a running back. And I would be willing to throw in Pacheco in there as well because I don't really like Pacheco. I think he's overhyped, and I don't think he's as good as a running back as people think he is. He's a one-trick pony. All he can do is, he's an old school running back who can just run behind an offensive line. He's not shifty. He's not versatile out of the backfield catching the ball. He can run between the tackles, and he runs in a straight line. He has straight line speed, and that's it. So pretty much agreed on a trade following week 1, which is Ayuk and Pacheco for Olave. Yeah, that's a good trade too. If you get Olave for Ayuk and Pacheco, I would punch that as well. So last time was like 2020. It's torture and being a Raiders fan. Yeah, I can only imagine being. I don't even know if I could. I don't even know if I could root for him. Like if I was from Oakland, dude, and I grew up as a Raiders fan, I don't even know if I could root for him. I mean, they left Oakland. They're not even in Oakland anymore, and they've won what, 1 Super Bowl? That was John Madden's team, and that team, the team was okay. Wasn't the greatest Super Bowl team, but that was forever ago. That was back in what, 70s or something? I don't even know. But the Raiders, man, they just, ever since Mark Davis has taken over for the Raiders, it's been a shit show, in my opinion. And then they got rid of Gruden. They had all the Gruden stuff, Henry Ruggs. They've had a lot of bad things go your guys' way, really, the last few years. Just, Antonio Brown situation, Damon Arnett getting arrested, getting kicked off the team. They spent a first-round pick on him, I believe, out of Ohio State. Farrell was a first-round pick out of Clemson. He wasn't very good. He said, I'm from Oakland. I have no choice. Yeah, dude, I hear you, bro. I hear you. I mean, I'm from Kansas City, and I got no choice but to be a Chiefs fan. Don't get me wrong, dude. There were some tough years whenever, like, when we had Romeo Cornell and Todd Haley as coach. Like, I remember those days, too, bro. Those were terrible. Luckily, we got Andy Reid to come right after they fired Romeo Cornell. Those were like the dark days of the Chiefs, man. And that was like whenever I was in high school, dude. So it was actually kind of a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like a long time ago, And I remember like our Trent Green, Priest Home years, Tony Gonzalez years when we were good, but then they couldn't win a playoff game. Like every year we like we had the one year where we won like 13 games. We went 13-3, I think, because that was back when they had the 16-game schedule. We went like 13-3. I think we had like the number 1 or number 2 seed, and we lost the first round of the playoffs. We got beat by I think Peyton Manning and the Colts or whatever. Stupid. But I'm telling you guys right now, though, if you guys have any more drafts coming up this week, like I said, I got 2. I got one Tuesday and I got one Wednesday. The one Wednesday is an auction league. I don't really have to worry about Cooper Kupp because it's a keeper league and there's a team that's already keeping Cooper Kupp. But in the other league, I have the first overall pick. I won't take Kupp at the end of round 2 or the beginning of round 3 if he's there, and he might be there in my league. It's a 10-man redraft league. And I wouldn't be shocked if he was there at the end of round 2, beginning of round 3 for us. And I'm not taking him if he's there, man. There's just no way. I can't do it. I'm not risking a second or a third round value of a player on a guy who is 30 years old, who has a compensation injury. And I need to show you guys this right here. He's got a compensation injury. It's from the same. It's on the same leg as. It's right here. Here it is, right here. Thigh hamstring, grade 2. Hamstring strain, grade 2. That was August 1st. Right here, August 1st. That was literally 30 days ago. 30 days ago. And he just re-aggravated that. That's on the same, it's all on the same leg. It's on the same leg that he had the MCL sprain. And you know, his ACL tear. It was on the same leg that he had the ankle sprain from last year that he missed the second half of the season. He missed the last 8 games of the season from last year. Pedal ankle sprain, grade 3. It's on the same leg. It's on the same side. And so I'm staying away from this guy, dude. I'm staying away because he's gonna probably miss week 1. He'll come back week 2. He maybe he'll come back week 2. We don't even know. They might put him on the pup. They might do the same thing that Jonathan Taylor, what the Colts did to Taylor, where they put him on the pup for 4 weeks, or the IR for 4 weeks, and he's mandatory, has to sit out the first 4 weeks. If they do that, and you spent a first or a second round pick on this guy, you're gonna be like, let's say you don't trade him. Let's say you don't trade him as well, and let's say they do this like Monday. Let's say they do this Monday, and you didn't make a trade today or tomorrow. You're gonna be pissed if you don't make a trade, because you then have a guy that you spent a first or a second round pick on, and then you're not going to be able to trade him. You're not going to be able to get rid of him, which is just going to put you behind the 8 ball, basically to start out your brand new fresh 2023 fantasy football season. So I'm telling you right now, if you can move this guy and you can get a Garrett Wilson for him, whoever said that, who's that? Was that Reese? Reese, if you can go get Garrett Wilson for him, do it right now. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it Saturday. Do it right now. Try to get it done by the morning if you can. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Garrett Wilson's a round 2 player. So you could probably argue Cooper Kupp is a round 2 player. He went in round 2 the other night. So you're swapping a round 2 for a round 2. The only difference is one's healthy and one's not. And the other one's young, who was offensive rookie of the year last year. You're putting yourself in a better situation. So get rid of this guy. I'm telling you guys to get rid of him, because if not, you're gonna regret it if they throw him on the 4-week pup list and he misses the first 4 weeks. And you're also gonna regret it if it like lingers throughout the whole season, which I think is a possibility, because we're already seeing signs of it lingering. He sat out for 4 weeks of practice, didn't play in any preseason games, and then he comes back and he re-aggravates it again. That's not like oh, that was just unfortunate. No, that's a sign. That's a sign that this is going to linger probably throughout the year, or into at least the first 8 weeks. Connie says, what do you think about Jahmyr Gibbs? I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I would say draft him over, I would say he's really a 3rd round pick, but it depends on what league you're in. In this league that I'm in, he's probably a 2nd round pick, because we have out of position scoring that counts as like double points. So if you're in a league like that, like, he's probably a round 2 player. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I would probably take him over Cooper Kupp at this point. Like, if you said Cooper Kupp fell to round 3 and Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting there for you in like the middle or beginning of round 3, I would say I'm taking him over Kupp. And some people might say that's crazy, flat out on his face. But with the injury news and everything, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I do like Jahmyr Gibbs, especially if you're in full PPR or if you're in a league like I'm in where you got double points for out of position scoring. Take him all day, all day. So yeah, you guys see this. It's all on the same side. This hamstring it's a compensation injury, which is like it's basically a secondary injury, probably for the surgery that he had. The tightrope surgery he had. I believe he had it in like January this year for this ankle sprain from last year. You got to remember he's had the ACL tear and the MCL tear or whatever. I guess it's a sprain or whatever, but he had that on this leg as well. Like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So it's not a good sign that it's on the same side and that he just re-aggravated it. He had a grade 2 a month ago, and then he just re-aggravated it after taking 4 weeks off. I mean, we've seen this, guys. We have seen this. I will show you guys. We have seen this. I'll show you. Keenan Allen last year had this same injury. Keenan Allen's 31 this year, right? It says right here, he's 31. He was 30 last year. And you could say that Keenan Allen has played more than Cooper Kupp has. Keenan Allen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's got 10 seasons. This will be season number 11 for Keenan Allen. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cooper Kupp's only going into year 7. Remember, he was 24 out of college. He was 24 years old out of college, or 23, 24, whatever. He just turned 30, which is the same age that Keenan Allen was last year. And he has the same injury, a grade 2 hamstring pull. And he just re-aggravated it 4 weeks later. So, but they're the same age. Cooper Kupp's only really had 2 good years. He's had this year, year 3, where he's went over 1,000. And then he had the Triple Crown year, obviously, where he was like 18 yards shy of the all-time record for receiving yards in a season. But so he's proven it a couple of times, but it's not really, he's not super consistent. Like, look at this, 24th half PPR receiver last year, 28th back in 2020, 52, 25. Keenan Allen has really more of a track record of being more consistent as like a top 15 receiver. Keenan Allen's went over 1,000 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Kupp's only done it twice. Okay, and I know it's hard to get the Triple Crown season out of your head and receiver number 1, and he was all world. I know it's hard to get that out of your mind because you're like, man, he's that guy. And then last year he was on pace to be really, really good. He was on pace. I think he had the most fantasy points per game of any receiver, even though he only played the 9 games or whatever. Technically like 8.5 because he got hurt in the last one. But this is not a good sign, man. This is and receivers that hit 30 years old, they hit a big decline for the most part. Look for Diggs to probably hit a little bit of a decline this year too. I wouldn't be shocked. Diggs is going to be, I think, 31. Diggs is a little different conversation. Diggs is going to be 30 this year. He's 29. He'll be 30 at some point in the season, though. So he's kind of, maybe this could be Diggs maybe last year, I think, is like a top 5 receiver. I think after this year, he probably slides a little bit, for the foreseeable future. But when it comes to Kupp and Allen, they're very similar. The only difference is Allen's been in the league longer, but they had very similar injuries. Like, he's got a very similar injury to what Keenan Allen had last year. Very, very similar injury. And so do you really want to start off your fantasy football season with an injured player is what I would ask you guys. I know he's good. I know he's a very good talent. He plays on a team that's going to throw the ball a lot because they're going to have to, because they're going to be behind games. But I think I mean, this team is going to be bad. This team's going to be horrible this year. They're going to be lucky if they win 5 or 6 games, probably. I don't even think they will get to six wins. Try to put them like side by side for you guys. So Keenan Allen, he also has a lot of injuries on the same side. It's actually the same leg. It's his right leg. I believe this is the right leg, even though it's on the left side. I think it's his right. But you guys look. Last year, week 1, right? September 11th, 2022. Thigh hamstring strain grade 2 in the second quarter of week 1. And he did not play. We go back to his 2022 season. He got hurt week 1. He didn't play basically until week 11. He missed the bye week, which was week 8, right? Obviously. And then he did come back week 7, but he re-aggravated at week 7. So he took week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 off. So he took 5 weeks off. Came back week 7, re-aggravated it, left in the middle of the game again, or I think at the beginning of the game. Took the bye week off. Took week 9 and week 10 off. And then he was finally kind of ready to go week 11. So we go to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's got the same injury. Thigh hamstring strain grade 2. And he just took 4 weeks off. 4. He didn't play in any preseason games. And he didn't really participate in practice at all. Up until this week. Up until this week, he didn't participate in any practice really. And he just re-aggravated it again after missing the second half of the season last year due to the ankle that's on the same leg as the ACL tear that he had 5 years ago and the hamstring that he has now. This is going to linger. I'm telling you guys, this is going to linger throughout the season. He's going to be like Keenan Allen, where it's like, oh my God, he's questionable. He's game time decision. We don't know if he's going to play this week. And he's going to have weeks where he kind of does play. He's going to have weeks maybe where he doesn't play. He might have a week where he does play and then he re-aggravates it again and then he misses 3-4 more weeks. I don't think they're going to put him on the PUP list or the IR to start. I think they're going to try to, there's a possibility that he misses week 1. I think there's a good possibility that he misses week 1. If he does come back week 2, there's a chance he re-aggravates it. And if he does re-aggravate it and it's severe enough, I can't stress this enough because he's already re-aggravated it once. There's a good chance that he re-aggravates it again if he comes back too soon. And what's too soon? Too soon is probably within 4 or 5 weeks. Like if he doesn't take a 4 or 5 week period off, there's a chance he's going to re-aggravate this again. Okay? And then once he does that again, they're probably going to put him on the IR. They're going to put him off for 4 weeks mandatory. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you have this guy on your team and that happens in week 2 or week 3 or week 4, and then they throw him on the IR and he's bound to miss a mandatory 4 weeks, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed off. You're not going to be happy. So whoever it was that came in here, you said like, oh, I could maybe get Garrett Wilson for him straight up. Do it. Just do it. You're going to put yourself in a safer place throughout the rest of this. We haven't even started the season yet. So if you can do this before the season even starts, do it. This guy said he just got offered Olave for Justin Tucker. Reese, you're the one that's got Kupp, right? Or is that Bo? Connie, you're the one that has Kupp. Go get Kupp for Garrett Wilson right now if you can. Or go get him for the Ridley P. Ryan exchange if you'd rather have that one. You got offered Olave for Justin Tucker. Do you need a receiver, Reese? Reese, what did you say your team was? You got Waddle. You got Waddle, Cooper. I mean, you can always pick up another kicker, man. Tucker is the best kicker probably in league history. So you could go get a You could go get another kicker, and it would be probably good to have Olave behind. I mean, he's another option with Amari Cooper and Jalen Waddle. Cooper is like 30 years old. I think Cooper's an okay pick, but there's always a chance that, you know, maybe injury pops up. I would like is kicker like, is it a big deal in your league? Like, there's some people that have kicker scoring where like they get like 10 points if they kick a 50-yarder, which is usually pretty big. If you can go out and get a decent kicker that's maybe not quite as good as Justin Tucker, I would probably do it. Bottom line is, you shouldn't be trading kickers for, like, you shouldn't be trading 4 kickers if you have like a second or third round receiver on your team, which this guy's obviously doing. So if it was me, I would take it. I would take Olave, give him to Justin Tucker, go get another kicker who's decent. I mean, there's probably plenty of kickers on the waiver wire, right? If you only got 10 or 12 teams or whatever, it's only a 10-team league, so that means you're giving up Tucker. There's 8 other kickers out there that are taken, so you'll be able to find another kicker. Go get Brandon McManus, go get Jake Elliott, go get a kicker that kicks for a pretty good team that has a high-scoring offense. He'll be kicking a bunch of extra points, and they'll be, you know, Graham Gano, I think, is a good kicker that probably is on the waiver wire that a lot of people don't draft. Gano, McManus for the Jaguars, and Jake Elliott for the Eagles would be like my top 3 guys to go get at kicker if you give up, like, you know, Justin Tucker. Hopefully they're not owned. 1 or 2 of them might be owned, but one of those guys should be available. Take Olave. Keep keep your Jalen Hurts, and obviously Justin Fields. You have Jalen Waddle, Cooper. You add Olave to that mix. Now you have options week in and week out. You have options in case somebody gets hurt. If Waddle goes down 1 week, you can just insert Olave. Cooper goes down 1 week, you can insert Olave, or you can probably put Cooper on the bench. Maybe you could start Olave and Waddle. Just really depends on who they're playing and, you know, which week it is, right? So all right, I think we've talked about Kupp enough. Like I said, don't draft this guy. I'm gonna jump into an underdog draft right now. I kind of want to test the waters here on where some of these guys are going. I haven't done a draft in a while. Now this is gonna be a weekly winner. It's going to be a weekly winner, so we will see. There's going to be a little bit of uncertainty, I guess, in which some guys go, because weekly winner is a little different than like a regular league. Guys kind of go in a little bit, I would say, like quarterbacks go a little bit lower than they should, because it's weekly winner and people are trying to win certain weeks and stuff. So, but for the most part, you know, Kupp's ADP is still 6.5 here. Let's see where Kupp goes. I'll be curious to see where Kupp would technically be there on the board for me, and we're not going to take him. So this is kind of a bad pick in my opinion. I would like to have pick 3 or 4 and try to get Tyreek Hill. We'll just have to wait and see. See what happens. Where is my water? I'll be right back. Let me get my water. All right, let's see what we can do. This guy's on the clock here. It's probably gonna take JJ, I reckon. No, he goes McCaffrey. Goes McCaffrey. Let me pull this up on my phone so I can pick on my phone here. We might do like another Yahoo League too. We might do another Yahoo football draft too while we're at it. We could, you know, we could. I can answer whatever questions you guys have while we do these drafts, and I know a lot of you guys have kind of already drafted in your home leagues. You know, there's some people that probably draft next week though too. So JJ, Chase, Tyreek Hill go. This is probably Kelsey right here. I will probably take Kelsey if he's there, considering this is weekly. This guy goes Kelsey though, so let's go. We can go Bijan or we can go Chubb. I think I'm gonna go Bijan here. I just like that they got an easy schedule this year. I don't really have much of Bijan in the weekly winners, so we will take him right here. We're not taking Kupp. Let's see how far Kupp slides. I'll be curious to see where he slides. If he comes back to me at 19, I'm not taking him. I will not take him at 19 if he's there. Because I'm not putting my eggs in that basket when I know the history of guys that have an injury like this, and I know it's not good. And I'm gonna bet on that history. I'm not gonna bet on Kupp being the one-off guy who overcomes this injury and plays 15 or 16 games this year. I just don't see it happening. And so I'm willing to make that bet, and I'm willing to deal with the consequences if I'm wrong on that bet. And that's just that. Kupp goes to pick number 9, so that's good. We don't even have to worry about it. Let that guy take the risk, you know. I would like to get Pollard right here at pick number 19. He will be my next pick if he's there. I'll take Barkley though too. I don't think Barkley will make it back to us though. We need one of these quarterbacks to get taken. We need like Patrick Mahomes to come off the board, or Josh Allen. There goes Barkley. We need a quarterback right here. Devontae Adams. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. This guy's going to snipe me. Craig's cousin. Ooh, he took Patrick Mahomes. Let's go. All right, so we're going to go Tony Pollard. Little double hero, little hero RB strategy here, double hero. I think I took this guy's, yeah, this guy doesn't have Mahomes on the board, and I probably took Pollard from him. He doesn't know who to take. Taking Derrick Henry. He probably got auto-picked. Josh Jacobs in round 2. People are drafting Jacobs in round 2 now because of him coming back to training camp or coming back to the team. So that's good for us. I might take Gibbs if he's there. If there's no receivers on the board that I like and Gibbs is there, I'll probably take Gibbs, to be honest. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because we could just go Gibbs and we won't have to touch running back for the rest of the draft. Well, there goes Gibbs, I think. No, Gibbs still there. Josh Allen just went. Mark Andrews. This could be Lamar Jackson. Yep. Called that one. There's Debo. There's Olave. Would like to get Devontae Smith if he's there. This guy's gonna take receiver. Of course, I wasn't thinking Joe Mixon's there too. We could take Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon might be a better option in this format, considering it's only half PPR. This guy doesn't know who he's gonna take. He takes Devontae Smith. Go figure. You know, I'm gonna roll the dice here. I'm gonna go. I don't like that Mixon has the same bye week as Pollard. That sucks. We do have T. Higgins there. I'm not a big fan of that pick, though. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Mixon. I don't care if they get the same bye week. I'm gonna go Mixon. So we'll go 3 running backs, and then we will probably just fade running back the rest of the way, at least until like the late rounds. Kind of shocked that Gibbs is still on the board, and this guy probably takes him. There's a lot of receivers that have come off the board. We missed Devontae Smith by 1 pick, so I don't like taking Higgins, Allen, or Metcalf in the 3rd round, to be honest. It's a little early for Mixon as well, but I would rather take Mixon. I probably should have just taken quarterback, to be honest, but it is what it is. I think there's a chance that Burrow slides to us. I don't know. I don't know, man. Herbert's right at the top of the list right now. He probably doesn't make it to us. If he does, we'll take him. There's a chance he makes it to us if this guy doesn't. Well, Shady Canyon has Keenan Allen. He's going to take Herbert if he's there. So Shady Canyon, which is this guy right here, this guy's going to take Herbert. So we should get Burrow. We'll see. It's going to be tough, man, because we need a receiver. Bad. This is probably Herbert. Yeah, it's like it's not hard to figure out, you know. This could be Burrow, though. This guy's got Higgins on his team. We'll see. I don't think so. I think he takes receiver. Lawrence goes at 53. This guy has Ridley, so we're not going to see Lawrence. Let's just go ahead and take Burrow. I'm not worried about Burrow. I'll take him in round 4 here. I'm not worried about him at all. This guy's going to take Lawrence with this pick or this pick, 100%. No doubt in my mind. So Breece Hall round 4. I'm glad I got him like right here in round 5 the last draft that we did or whatever. Jonathan Taylor round 4. Holy smokes. I wouldn't even take him right here in round 4, dude. Here's the thing, bro. Nobody's taking Kamara. Like, imagine this, guys. Like, wrap your heads around this. Nobody's taking Kamara until like what, round 6, 7, maybe even possibly 8. And he's missing 3 games. Taylor's gonna miss more games than Kamara, and they're drafting Taylor over Kamara. That is wild to me. I mean, I know Kamara's a little older, maybe lost a step, maybe, but this is a bad relationship with the Colts that I don't think is going to work itself out. He's gonna have to get traded in the middle of the season, and if he does not get traded in the middle of the season, I think it's gonna get ugly. I think there's a chance it gets ugly. There's no way I take Taylor over Jones, Walker, Brees. You know, obviously he didn't have a chance at Brees, but you know, there's some of these guys that are on the, like, I would even say Dameon Pierce. I don't even think I take Taylor over Dameon Pierce, who's the next running back on the list. But you could get Kamara down here, who's going to miss less games, and there's people taking this guy over somebody like Kamara. That's, to me, that's crazy. To me, that's, I don't know. There's no way I'm doing it. There's no way I'm doing it. So what's she doing? You know, I can't believe Christian Watson's still on the board. Why is Watson still on the board? I'll take him if he's there. I don't think he'll be there, but we'll take him if he's there. He's getting close. This has got to be a running back or a quarterback. This is Trevor Lawrence right here. Trevor Lawrence all day. Maybe not. Wow. Tight ends. Run to tight ends. This guy needs a receiver. He's going to take Watson, probably. It's going to suck. Take London. Come on, dude. Pick a guy. Oh my God. We got sniped twice by this guy. This guy's a sniping son of a gun. I hate this. Why is Gabe Davis ranked so high? Why is Gabe Davis ranked so freaking high? That guy sucks. We're gonna take Lockett. We're gonna take another one on the way back. Don't worry. We're taking another receiver on the way back. God, I wanted Watson right there, dude. This guy took him. What's this guy doing? I can't believe Trevor Lawrence is still on the board. All because that guy didn't take Trevor Lawrence. We got screwed. Right, there goes Trevor Lawrence, Madison. Pickens is starting to go a lot higher than normal. Because he's had a good preseason, which I guess is not shocking. There goes Deontay too, right after. So he goes back to back Pittsburgh Steelers receivers. Which is funny because that happened in my league in the one league the other day on Tuesday, and it went from the same spot too. From the guy from the 12 spot did this. He did this exact combo right here, like in round 5 and 6, or maybe it was like 6 and 7. Christian, Kurt, John, look at these guys take all my receivers. Unbelievable, dude. Oh man, this sucks, dude. I'm losing all my receivers that I want. I'm not taking McLaurin or Judy or Evans. There's no freaking way. I'm gonna take Goddard. This is gonna be rough at receiver, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. People just take receivers. It's crazy. They just stack. Like, look at this guy. This guy doesn't need another receiver. Neither does this freaking guy. Like, what the heck, dude? So frustrating. Everybody's taking their sweet time. James Conner. That's a little early. Mike Evans, James Cook, there's Dobbins. Cam Akers. See, we needed Dobbins and Akers and Cook. We need all those guys to come off down here, but this guy just has Najee. Like, come on, dude. I would have taken Kirk if he would have fell to me. I would have taken Dotson if he would have fell to me. I would have taken Johnson too if he would have fell to me. But they took them all, so I don't know. I will go a running back here if my receiver gets taken. If my receiver goes, I will take running back again because I'm not going to play this game with these guys. I'm not going to just take a receiver just to have a receiver. I will take the best available player. I don't care if it's another running back. Take my receiver again, dude. All right, we're gonna take Addison. JSN still on the board, yeah. Yeah, man, give me your team, bro. What's your team? Let's see here. Rashad White goes. Swift goes. I'm surprised that Kamara and Montgomery have not come off the board yet. Dr. Clutch, what is your team, man? Give me your team. Make sure you clarify if it's a 10 or 12 man. Or an 8 man or whatever, that, you know, 4-man team, whatever, you know. 4-man league. I would love for Kamara or Montgomery to make it back to me. I don't think they will, but Dr. Clutch has got Bijan, Pollard, T. Higgins, Fields, D-Hop, Pierce, Javonte, Pickens, Dotson, Addison, Mostert, Kincaid, Okonkwo, Charbonnet, and Elijah Moore. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid, bro. That is pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very solid. I figured it was a 10-man because I don't know how you're getting a team like that in a 12-man. There goes Montgomery. There goes Kamara. Figure. Yeah, Bijan and Pollard are your starters. Pierce would probably be your backup. We'll see about Javonte. Thoughts on D-Hop this year? It's okay. It's okay. I think I'm not a fan of T. Higgins and D-Hop, to be honest, but you did get Pickens, Dotson, and Addison behind them, and I like all three of those. And I actually like Elijah Moore too, as a later guy too. So you have good depth at receiver, and I like Kincaid at tight end as well. This guy just fucking sniped me. He just took Sky Moore. That's who I was gonna take, dude. Oh my god! I swear, man. I was gonna take Sky Moore. I had him queued up and everything. That sucks. Dude, these guys are something else. I'm gonna take Pittman, bro, because I got no choice. I was gonna take Sky Moore right there. Dude, we've been sniped 3 times in this draft. This guy took Smith from me, then he took Watson from me, and now I get sniped from the other side. This guy takes Moore. Oh my god. There ain't no way. Yeah, D-Hop, I think he goes a little early. Like, I don't like him in round 4. I feel like round 5 would be better. This is good though. This guy has him as a 3rd receiver, and I do like that. I don't like him as a 1. I mean, he could be okay as a number 2 receiver. Number 3 would be your safe option. Like, this is a safe option. He's got Ridley in front of him and Hill. This is good. You know what I mean? I don't really like this guy's running backs, but that's kind of the price you pay for doing what this guy did. I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's not wide receiver 1 material, and I don't think I'd say he's like a low end wide receiver 2 if I had to rank him. I you know, and I have him ranked in my. I have him ranked like barely inside my wide receiver 2, which was barely inside my wide receiver 24. So figured I'd play the waiver wire with quarterback. The weak Fields is on bye, and just stack up on late round value with running backs and receivers. Yeah, that's probably your best option with what you did, and that's basically what you did. I think you're good at tight end. You're obviously good at running back. I mean, having Pierce as your 3rd running back is awesome. Good job. Javonte is your 4th running back. That's good. T. Higgins. I don't like T. Higgins as wide receiver 1. I like him as a wide receiver 2, not a wide receiver 1. And the same thing with D-Hop. I like him as a receiver 2, which you technically do have him as your receiver 2. I think Dotson will surprise you this year a little bit. And so Dotson's probably your wide receiver 3 on this team, but it is close. Pickens is good, and so is Addison. And so I think you're going to be surprised a little bit by those guys. So let's say something happens to D-Hop. If he gets injured, you'll be okay. It's a good team. Overall, it's a good team. It's probably a top 2, top 3 team in the league. We're gonna take this guy, I guess, because we need another receiver, and these guys are taking all my receivers. So, God, I really wanted Sky Moore right there. I would have felt really good about this team if I got Sky Moore there. I guess Pittman's okay for the. I mean, Pittman in round 8 is pretty good value, I guess, but I don't like the Colts this year at all. So I'm hoping for a Pickens breakout. Bet on his upside over Mike Williams, but I also have my team named after Pickens. I think Dotson's better than Pickens, though. That's just me. Pickens is good, though. Like, they're both really good. Like, they're both under the radar second-year receivers, but I do think Dotson's better than Pickens. I think he's got more tools. The thing about Pickens is like DK. He's built like DK. He's a big receiver, big physical receiver. If Pickens can put everything else together, he'll be a really good receiver. But I think Dotson's probably, like, I would have Dotson ranked ahead of Pickens right now. Like, not by much, though. They're close. They're both really close. I like both of them. Let's just put it that way. I like Addison too. I think Addison's better than people think. He just has to stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, he'll be good. Jamal Williams, Traylon Burks, Anthony Richardson, Geno. Cousins, you don't have to hope Cousins to play well. He will. Cousins has played well for like 5 straight years. He just doesn't play well in playoff games. But in fantasy, he plays really well every year. What are we gonna do here? We got our receivers. We're good at running back for the most part. These guys take all my running backs for the most part. It looks like it. We're gonna go a little different here. Let's take Kincaid, our second tight end, and we will take a receiver on the way back, probably, or a quarterback if we think we need another one. We got Burrow week 7. Somebody take Daniel Jones. Yep. We might wait on quarterback too. Yeah, dude, you don't have to worry about Cousins playing well, bro. He plays well every year, and he's in a high octane throwing offense that's going to throw the ball a lot. He's got one of the best receiving tight ends in Hawkinson, and he's got arguably, probably, I wouldn't even say arguably, he has the best receiver in all of football, and Jefferson as well. And he's got Addison on the other side. So Addison's picking up Thielen's work, basically. Adam Thielen ran the most routes of any receiver last year, but he didn't do nothing with it really because he's old and kind of washed up, probably a year or two away from retirement. So yeah, I mean, Thielen ran the most routes of any receiver last year, and so he's sliding right into that role. And he's going to be opposite of the best receiver in the game, so he's going to have the easier corner on him, and he's not going to see like any double teams at all. So I think Addison's going to be really well. You guys remember Juju? You guys remember Juju his rookie year when he was opposite of Antonio Brown that last year that Antonio Brown was there? It's going to be like that. Juju had a really good rookie season, if I'm not mistaken, because he was opposite of Antonio Brown, and he benefited basically from Antonio Brown getting all the attention, and he had a really good rookie campaign. And then after Antonio Brown left, he wasn't really kind of the same receiver. That's because Juju was like not a number 1 receiver. He was a number 2 receiver, maybe a number 3. But he needed to have that alpha on the other side of the line of scrimmage, or on the other side of the freaking offensive line. And I think this is kind of a similar situation with Addison, and you know, and I don't know, Addison probably isn't a true number one. Maybe he is, but the fact that he is the true number two on the team and he's got the best receiver in the league on the other side, he should be open a lot of the times, and he's one of the best man coverage route runners coming out of college for this draft. So yeah, Juju had a really good year, like year one and year two for the Steelers. And I believe it was the last year. The last year Antonio Brown was in Pittsburgh was year two for Juju. And Antonio Brown was the fourth best receiver in the league. So he did pretty well. And Juju was receiver number 8 in half PPR. Had 240.4 fantasy points that year in my sleeper league. So that was year two. So year two of Juju's career, that was the last year Antonio Brown was in the was in Pittsburgh, and he had a really good year. And I think this is very, very similar. This guy goes to that guy. Let's go. I need another receiver, so I'm gonna go Zay Jones. It's either Zay Jones or Juju right there. I'm gonna take Zay Jones, I think, because I like the Jaguars offense better than I like the Patriots offense. This isn't bad a receiver. I mean, this is kind of the price you pay, I would say. Maybe I should have taken Pickens or Dotson. I should have taken Dotson right here instead of Lockett. I thought Dotson would be here for me, and obviously he wasn't. This isn't a terrible team, but it's a little different. It's definitely a little different. I don't normally do this strategy where I go like 3 straight running backs. I would have taken Smith right here. I would have 100%. But he's not there, so it is what it is. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man, for your team. It's gonna be tough to figure out which, like, if you are you starting 3 receivers in this league, Clutch? If you're only starting 2, then I guess it's kind of, it makes it a little easier. But if you're starting 3 receivers, dude, I don't know who you would start each week as your 3rd receiver. You could argue Pickens, Dotson, and Addison. I think like the first week I would probably start Dotson because they got the Cardinals, and they're probably going to be without Terry McLaurin, so I'd probably start Dotson week 1 if you know, if you had a 3rd receiver. But honestly, I don't know how to feel about Higgins, D-Hop as my receivers, but they have a lot of boom potential, so we'll see, I guess. Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter, though. I mean, you're just like, you're gonna have to manage it well. You're gonna have to figure out who you're starting week in and week out. If injuries occur, though, you're okay, because you got 3 guys on the bench that are really, I think, pretty good. I think one or both Pickens and Dotson, one of them, or if not both of them, are breakout candidates for this year as a second year breakout player at receiver. Let's go yeah, let's go to this guy. Go get Derek Carr. I don't really like the receivers on the board, and I don't want Zeke or Gainwell. I think I'll pass on that. Even though I need another running back, I will wait. I'll wait a little bit longer for another running back. 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a flex. Was debating between Pierce, Dotson, Pickens for that flex spot. Well, if it's full PPR, you're gonna have to go with one of the receivers, man, until Pierce shows you that he's, I mean, I like Pierce, don't get me wrong, but you got good depth at running back and receiver. So if injuries occur, man, you're set. It is going to be a little bit of a guessing game, though, each week for that flex spot. It's going to be a guessing game, and it's going to really be a guessing game between the receivers, because the receivers are going to score more in a full PPR more than likely. They're catching the ball. I would say if Dotson has an easy matchup like he does week 1 against the Cardinals, if he has like one of those kind of matchups, I would definitely look at the matchups week to week. But like week 1, it would be a no-brainer for me to tell you to start Dotson over Pickens. I know you like Pickens, and I know I like Pickens as well, and I like Addison as well too. But Dotson has an easy matchup against the Cardinals week 1, and they might be without McLaurin too. So he could have like 10 catches in that game and like 150 yards receiving. Wait and see how Javonte plays before you consider playing him. Yeah, I would wait on Javonte. Javonte's going to split that backfield 50-50. I'm just going to let you in on a little secret, I guess. Don't be surprised if I think Javonte doesn't really have the season people are expecting him to have. He's going to split that backfield, I think, pretty evenly. They paid P. Ryan a pretty significant amount of money for a backup running back. He's going to be involved in the offense. Sean Payton likes to use receiving backs a little bit, and you know, Javonte can catch the ball in the backfield, but P. Ryan is there to kind of be the third down receiving back, just like he was whenever he was in Cincinnati. So expect P. Ryan to eat into Javonte's workload a little, and you know what, he's going to have to, because they're not going to give Javonte the full workload anyways, coming off of the grade 3 ACL, grade 3 MCL. So I'm glad you got Javonte. I'm not high on Javonte. I'm not going to draft him probably in any of my drafts. But I am happy that you got him as a running back 4 versus like a running back 2. Like if he was your running back 2, I would say that's not good. But well, we might as well get our handcuff. Let's go get Algier. We don't need Rashee Rice. We don't really need Jordan Love because we got Carr. We don't really need a tight end. There's a bunch of tight ends on the board right now. We don't really need one. We got 2 already. 2 pretty good ones, I think. So I'm not going to waste a pick. We'll probably go get a... We're definitely going to go get another running back. I see this guy's rising. We're probably going to take this guy, to be honest. We might take this guy early. Quinn, what's up, Quinn? Let's see what Dr. Clutch said. I had Javonte the year before last when he was healthy during his rookie year, and he played alongside Melvin Gordon, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar to that kind of season, and it might be more P. Ryan it will be more P. Ryan if he re-aggravates that knee a little bit. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. I really don't know what to think about Javonte, man. I'm not going to believe he's fully ready to go and he's fully back to his old self until I see it. Quinn said, I just had my draft. Team is Herbert, CMC, ETN, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Ayuk as my starters. What are we thinking? I'm thinking you probably had... Let me see. You went CMC in round 1. You didn't take ETN in round 2, did you? There's no way, right? T. Higgins in round 2, ETN round 3, Keenan Allen round 4, Ayuk round 5 maybe, or 6, and then Herbert was round 5. It's not bad. It's not a bad team. There are some other players that aren't on your team that I would prefer. Let's go. We need another receiver, I think. Gosh, what do we do here? I'm gonna go. I might as well get both of these guys. I might as well, dude. I might as well. One of them should have a good week, maybe every now and then. So Pierce and Pittman, we might as well go that route. I'll come back to your team here in a minute, Quinn. Will you trade Justin Herbert and Amari Cooper for QB Anthony Richardson and Devontae Adams 12-man PPR? No. Is it Dynasty? Even if it's Dynasty, I wouldn't do it. If I have Herbert and Cooper, I'm not trading them for Richardson and Devon. No, no way. There's no way. Yeah, I'm not even really gonna entertain that. That's a no. Yeah, you have Herbert and Amari. Yeah, keep Herbert and Amari. Don't do that trade. It's not Dynasty. Travis Kelce's going second round, 12-man PPRs, ADP, not Dynasty. You also have Pitts, 12-man PPR. Let me go back. Yeah, man, I don't know, Quinn. I don't want to tell you to like your team sucks. It's good. It's decent. It's you're gonna have to avoid the injury bug, in my opinion. I think Keenan Allen's got a chance for re-injury. He's older now. You know, he's 31. I think Keenan Allen is a good player, and if he remains healthy, he'll be good. Same thing with CMC. I worry about injury, but he is good if he stays healthy. ETN's kind of the one pick where I don't know if I would have taken him in round 3, which I think is where you took him. Did you take ETN in round 3? I feel like you did. Because T. Higgins would have been your second rounder, right? Had to be. You either took ETN in round 2 or 3. That's what I'm guessing. Travis Etienne going in the second. You took Etienne in the second round, bro? No way. You didn't do that, right? Please tell me you didn't do that. Yeah, keep Herbert and Amari. And what league is Travis Etienne going in round 2? That's going to go DJ Moore over D-Hop to have Fields more stack. But he went right before me. Yeah, that sucks. I was going to say, I would probably prefer DJ Moore over D-Hop. He's a little younger. I mean, I don't know. The Bears are going to be decent. I don't know if they're going to be... I don't know. The Titans and the Bears, they'll have similar records, I think, by the end. It says I took Breece Hall round 4 and traded him for 18. Bro, no, you did not. Don't even say you did that. You took Breece in round 4 and then you traded him for ETN? No. I mean, it could pay off if it's just for this year and it's not Dynasty, because I think it will take a minute for Breece to get going. I think it'll take him to like week 4, week 5 before he really starts to get going. You know, Dalvin Cook's going to play a little bit of a role probably the first few weeks. But if Dalvin Cook gets hurt, man, and really, even if he doesn't get hurt, I still like Hall a lot. I mean, Hall's the real deal, bro. Hall is a way better running back than ETN. But I could see a scenario where ETN maybe scores a few more fantasy points this year, just because Hall, maybe he doesn't perform quite as well. You know, the first few weeks, but I'm glad it's not Dynasty, bro. Yeah, that's good. At least it's not Dynasty. I mean, don't like Breece Hall this season. ACL comeback. Cook will take touchdowns away. Yeah, Cook's going to eat into it a little bit. Carter in the backfield too. I wouldn't worry about Carter. Carter won't even see the field probably, to be honest. I don't know, man. We'll see. Breece is in a very weird situation. But when he is fully back, which I think will be week 3, week 4, like where he's like, you're not even worried about his usage. Like whenever the team's not worried about how much he is used, which I don't think they will be by that time, Hall will outplay Dalvin Cook. He will. He will carry for more yards per carry. He will have more explosive plays. Now, will he have more touchdowns? I don't know. It just depends on who gets the touch with inside, you know, when they're inside the red zone. I think there's a scenario where both Cook and Hall can both coexist in fantasy this year, and they can both maybe be like top 16. But yeah, Breece Hall. I had Breece Hall last season too, bro. I don't even care though that he got hurt. I mean, it sucks that he got hurt, but I don't regret getting him. Good, he went down. I was doing wonders with Hall break. Yeah. Look, he had a clean ACL. I've talked about this over the last few weeks. I've talked about it since like July. I mean, he had a clean ACL tear. It's a different scenario than Javonte. Javonte is, and I don't care what the reports say. I don't care if like the reports like, oh, Javonte's like way ahead of Breece. No, he's not. He's not. Like Javonte blew his knee up. Javonte had a grade 3 ACL, LCL, and an MCL. Breece Hall just had a clean ACL tear. It was just the ACL tear. I think a little bit of meniscus. And I would say Breece is a better running back than Javonte. Like, it's not even close. He's a better athlete. He's a much better running back in terms of playing the position as well. So I don't believe any of the reports about like Javonte being more ready than Breece Hall. I don't believe that at all. I'll believe it whenever I see it. And so far I haven't seen it. So, and like, here's the thing, like, and this is why I tell people not to worry about Breece. And I know Cook's there, but Cook could get injured. Okay. If Cook gets injured, like in week 3, everybody's going to come running back here and they'll be like, bro, Breece is like the must-have player. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Cook's going to get injured, but there's a chance. He's a little older. He's about 28 years old. He's got a lot of mileage on him, and he's had a shoulder injury like his whole career. And so, but Breece was limited the first 4 weeks last year, the first 3 or 4 weeks last year, and he was still a top 5 running back at the time of week 7 before he got injured. I don't even know who I'm going to take right here. I guess we go take him. I'm going to take Chandler. Who am I missing? I was missing somebody. I got sidetracked. There's a guy on here that I wanted to take that's not here anymore. Deion Jackson. There he is. I was going to take Deion Jackson. My first trade I did is iffy, 12-man PPR. I gave away my Diggs and Mike Thomas for his CD and Pickens. You're talking about CD Lamb, right? That's a good trade in my opinion. Yeah, I would give up Diggs and Mike Thomas for CD and Pickens too. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, if that's CeeDee Lamb, I'm assuming that's who that is. CD and Pickens. Yeah, if that's CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, that's you knock that one out of the ballpark, dude. That's a good trade for you, in my opinion. I'm just telling you guys, man. I wouldn't. I know everybody wants to be like pessimistic about Breece Hall and his injury, but dude, he didn't do anything really the first 3 weeks last year, and he was a top 5 running back in fantasy at the time before he went down. He can be limited the first 4 weeks of this season, and in my opinion, he could still be like a top 10 running back by week 8, week 9. So, I mean, obviously he's got to stay healthy, so it is kind of a little bit of a risk to take, but Ramondre Stevenson, my RB2. Should I be worried? Should I say cost of Zeke being there now? Or because of Zeke being there now? I'm not really worried about Zeke. If Stevenson's your running back 2 and not 1, you're fine. I think you're fine. Hopefully that's a full PPR league too, because he's kind of a pass catcher, a little bit of a pass catching running back. And I think he's going to play that kind of role again. They're going to try to give Zeke kind of the Damian Harris role, but I think there's a good chance Zeke misses some time Kind of how Damian Harris missed some time last year, and Stevenson took advantage of it. Ended up finishing as like what, number 7 running back in most leagues. I think there's a good chance you see that happen again with Zeke. Zeke's been in the league forever, and I know he's been relatively healthy his whole career, but he's been ran into the ground. Zeke is not efficient anymore. He's not an efficient running back. He needs a good offensive line to be efficient, and the Patriots have the worst schedule. They have the hardest schedule in the league this year, and I don't really think their offensive line's that great. But I mean, it's okay. It's decent running wise. It's not really great passing wise, pass protection wise. I mean, their offensive line's nowhere near as good as the Cowboys' offensive line, I don't think. So let's go. Gosh, dude, what round was this? 17. I'm gonna take Hayden Hurst, I guess. Yes, I wouldn't be worried about Zeke, man. Zeke's washed. He's done. That is CeeDee Lamb. See, Clutch thinks you're fine with him. Yeah, Zeke, dude, Zeke, I wouldn't worry about Zeke, bro. He was like 54th in running back efficiency on yards per touch, or yards per carry, or no, not yards per carry. Yards, what is that? What is that stat? Yards created per touch. So in yards created per touch, Zeke was ranked like 54th last year out of all the running backs last year. So, not worried about Zeke at all. My team: Herbert, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Derrick Henry, Stevenson, Pickens, James Conner with Saints defense. No tight end in the league. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad. Not super high on Henry, but he's defied the odds the last like 2 years. He's defying the father time odds, and you know. Is this, he says full PPR? Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. I love Justin Herbert at quarterback this year. I would try to move James Conner. I'm not huge on Conner. Conner's going to be, I think Conner's a touchdown dependent running back. He's very dependent on touchdowns, I think. He is a little bit dependent on the passing game as well. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he is on a horrible team. He's on the worst team in football. They will be the worst team in football this year. They will have the #1 pick in the draft next year. They're not going to score very many touchdowns. They're not going to be very competitive this year. And so I worry about how many touchdowns he gets. I wouldn't be shocked if he only gets like three rushing touchdowns or 4 rushing touchdowns this year. Not even. And so I would try to move Conner if you could before it's too late. You're not going to be able to move him like week 3, week 4. There's no way. They're going to be 0-3, 0-4 as a team. He's probably, like I said, they're going to be lucky if they score hardly any points this year. Like, they're already a 7-point underdog opening week to the Commanders. So think about that. And the Commanders aren't really that good. So I would say I would try to move Conner and try to get like Montgomery for him. I would try to get Montgomery for like a James Conner. I would try to get who else could you get? I would try to get like Pierce, but you probably won't get Pierce. Like Conner went right here at 69. Montgomery went at 85. I would try to get like Montgomery. I would try to get Cam Akers for him. Although I kind of worry about Cam Akers too, but not really. I think Cam Akers is a good pick this year. I would rather have Cam Akers, Montgomery, and even Kamara. But Kamara, I would try to get Montgomery or Akers or Pierce for Conner if you could. I would try to get one of those 3 guys. Trust me, man, the Cardinals are going to be terrible this year. Conner relies on touchdowns. Remember that good year he had? He had like 18 touchdowns, right? Or whatever it was. He had like 13 rushing touchdowns, 5 receiving, or some crap like that. Let me double check that real quick for you. But that year, that was the year he kind of had a lot of touchdowns. He's not going to get that in this offense this year. There's no way. They're going to be a non-competitive football team. Their over-under win total is like 4.5 this year. They'll be lucky if they win 4 games this year, I think. Yeah, Connor was running back 5 2 years ago. He had 15 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving, so 18 total touchdowns. He's not getting that this year. He got 7 last year. He got 7 on the ground last year, 1 receiving. I expect those numbers to come down. He's going to get like 3 or 4 rushing this year and maybe 1 or 2 passing. So I would say he gets about 5 touchdowns this year, maybe. And I like James Conner. I think he's an okay player. But he's in a bad offense. He's in a bad offense that has no quarterback. I don't even know who their quarterback is. I'm guessing it's going to be Clayton Tune. Is it going to be Clayton Tune? Because Kyler Murray's not going to start. He's going to miss at least the first 4 weeks. And I think he's going to miss more than that. And they just cut Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy's not even on the team anymore. So Joshua Dobbs is their 2nd string quarterback. Clayton Tune is the 3rd string. So they're going to have Joshua Dobbs out there in the first 4 weeks. Well, probably the first week, week 1 or week 2 until they put Clayton Tune in because he's playing so bad. Joshua Dobbs is not good. I think I should, trade James Conner. Then your bench is mid. I got Judy recovering, A-Chain, Mooney, and Nico Collins. Ooh. Ouch. I'm gonna trade James Conner. Go get David Montgomery. That would probably be my first option. Go get David Montgomery or go get like Cam Akers or Pierce. I'm fine with either of those 3 guys. I would say Pierce would be my top guy out of all those. Then Akers and then Montgomery. It's close though between Akers and Montgomery. Package Judy and Connor. Go get whichever one you want. Montgomery plays on the best offense, and he's taken over the Jamal Williams role, and he's got one of the best offensive lines in the league. So Akers is good, but he plays on a bad team in the Rams. Cooper Kupp's injured. I'm not saying he can't get a full workload this year. I mean, he will, but he's kind of in a similar situation to Connor right now. I do like Dameon Pierce a lot, but the Texans aren't as good as the Lions. I think Montgomery would be the safer pick just because, like I said, he's moving into the Jamal Williams role. He will play at least half the snaps. They're not going to use Jahmyr Gibbs between the tackles much. So if they get into the red zone, the touchdowns are going to go to Montgomery on the ground. And they have a top 3, top 5 offensive line in the league. So Montgomery ran pretty well in Chicago. He's going to run even better as long as he stays healthy, obviously. He's going to run even better behind the Lions' offensive line. So I would want Montgomery. That's just me. Yeah, James. Yeah, you shouldn't even have to go 2 for 1. You should be able to keep Judy, even though I'm not a fan of Judy. You should be able to keep Judy though. Like, you should be able to get a 1-for-1 swap with Connor or Montgomery. The only way you're not getting that is if the guy's like a Lions fan, or if he's like really, really big on Montgomery, like me. Like if you try to offer me Connor for my Montgomery, I wouldn't do it. Like I wouldn't even entertain it, to be honest. So this team right here, it's not the greatest. This is a weekly winner, so really we just need a good week. We don't have to win every single week. You know, we don't have to win at the very end. We got Bijan, Tony Pollard, Mixon. I wanted to go Devontae Smith right here. I really didn't want to go 3 running backs. I kind of wish I didn't do that, but it is what it is. So we took Joe Mixon, Burrow, Lockett, Goddard, Addison, Pittman, Elijah Moore, Kincaid, Zay Jones, Carr, handcuffed Algier with Bijan. We got Ty Chandler and Gus Edwards. Then we also got Pierce, Tank Dell, and Hayden Hurst is our third tight end. So it's not a bad draft, not bad. You know, the 6th spot's kind of rough. The 6th spot's a tough spot to draft from right now, I feel like, because you're not going to get a good receiver right here in round 3. Like, the fact that I almost got Smith is pretty crazy. But maybe I should have taken T. Higgins. Probably that probably would have been a smarter pick, but I don't know. I would have rather have had Devontae Smith or Calvin Ridley right here. So it's unfortunate that they went right before me. It is what it is, though. Alrighty, guys. You guys have any more questions for me? If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer. Probably not much longer, though. We'll stay on for like 5-10 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, we'll cut it short. I'm probably gonna get off here, and we'll go live like Saturday or Sunday night. We'll probably do a Madden stream on Saturday night, and I'll answer fantasy questions while I'm playing Madden. So I haven't played Madden since like Monday, I think, whenever we streamed it Monday or whatever, or Tuesday or whatever it was. So there probably won't be too much more news coming out. Maybe, I mean, we might see some news like over the weekend, maybe. But other than like, I mean, I'm assuming these guys are practicing at least up until like, well, actually they may not even be practicing over the weekend. They'll probably start practicing again Monday. The Chiefs and the Lions won't really practice this week. They might practice like, you know, they'll have like a walkthrough Monday or Tuesday probably, and then they get the Thursday night game. I'll show you guys my buddy who I kind of helped draft. He had his draft Tuesday, two nights ago. I'll show you guys how that draft went. This league's a little different than most leagues, just so you guys know. So if you guys are kind of confused by some of the picks, I'll explain to you guys exactly why it is the way it is. I guess I'll just give you guys like the big board view. So let me put this picture on my computer real quick. I'll just show you guys the picture of it. Alright, should have sent. That's not it. There it is. All right, let me download this real quick and I will show you guys our draft. That we did Tuesday night. Let me just pull it up here and actually I can probably just so in this league we have double points. We got double points for out of position scoring. Okay, so whoa. Not the greatest picture, obviously. Let me copy. paste. All right, so this is the league. So this is the draft board we had. Eckler go first. We had Mahomes go second. Jefferson go 3. McCaffrey, Bijan went 5th in this draft. So in this league, running backs that score receiving touchdowns get double points. Okay, and then receivers that run for touchdowns get double points as well. Quarterbacks that run for touchdowns get double points. If it's an out of position score, meaning if a quarterback runs one in, or if like I said, if a receiver runs one in instead of catching one, or if a running back catches one instead of running one in, it's double points. So if a running back catches a touchdown pass, it's 12 points instead of 6. So that's why running backs are like pass catching running backs are super valuable in this league. My buddy's team is this one right here, the one that's got Barkley all the way down. Of course, he drafted Kupp in the 2nd round. I told him not to do that, but he did it anyways. I don't have a team in this league. This is like the first league to put it this way. We have a league that we draft on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. It's very similar to this league, and it has a lot of the same people in it. And it's double points for out of position scoring, just like this league is. And so my partner who's my partner for our team, he drafted in the 8th spot in this draft because he's in both of them. And of course he took Kupp and Jacobs, which I told him I didn't like either of those guys really. Of course, now that he took Kupp on Tuesday, which is when this draft took place, he's obviously not happy about Kupp's injury, and I told him to try to trade him like immediately. But he got Jacobs, Breece Hall, Kamara as his 4 running backs. He's got Watson, Dotson, and Lockett down here in round 6, 7, and 8. So that was good value. He settled for late QB because QBs go pretty early in this draft for the most part, especially the ones that run in touchdowns. Mahomes went 2nd overall. Hurts went down here in round 2. This guy that took Lawrence in round 3 is a huge Trevor Lawrence fan. He's a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, so that's why he took Lawrence right there. I kind of told him it was not a very good pick because he probably could have got him in round 4 or 5. But so yeah, I mean, this is this is how the first draft went for us. This guy had a pretty good draft in my opinion. The guy with the 5th pick here. You got Bijan, Garrett Wilson, and you got Gibbs in round 3. I promise you guys, Gibbs will not go in round 3 next week. Whenever we do our 10, like this is a 12-man. The one that we're doing on Tuesday is a 10-man league. So I promise you guys, he probably won't go in the 3rd round. I think the fact that this guy got Gibbs in the 3rd round is crazy to me. He's a pass-catching running back. And the pass catching running backs in this league are very, very valuable. So got Fields around 4, Kirk, Judy. This is James Cook right here that he's got, who's another pass catching running back. And then he got Quentin Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Cowboys defense, McPherson. Tua is the 2nd quarterback, and then you got Bigsby. And he took the Dolphins for a 2nd defense. Defenses are kind of, the scoring for defenses in this league are kind of stupid, I would say. Defenses can get you a lot of points in this league. And so that's why this guy has 2 defenses. That's why my buddy took the Saints and the Jets defense. Defenses are kind of good in this league compared to like a normal league. So like everybody tries to get a good defense basically. So like this guy took the Niners defense in round 7, which is kind of early, but the Niners have been like such a good defense over the last few years that it's kind of worth it in this league. So Taylor went right here, guys, in round 6, the middle of round 6, which would have been on the way back. So the guy with the 6th pick took Taylor in round 6, if you guys were wondering. So that would be pick what, 66. I even thought this was kind of early. I don't know, maybe it is early, maybe it's not. I wouldn't have taken him right there, but just to give you guys reference, that's how far Taylor slid in this draft. And this was Tuesday. This was literally the night of the news about Taylor not getting traded. So everybody was pretty well aware for the most part. They were well aware he didn't get traded, and they were well aware that he was going to miss the first 4 weeks. So that's just kind of how it ended up turning out. I was hoping somebody would take him in like round 3 or round 4, just because I know he shouldn't go there. But a lot of people though in this league, they kind of know, like for the most part, they know what they're doing. They keep up on news. They, you know, there's a couple guys that I would kind of say are kind of casual, but not really. For the most part, like, because I think the entries in this league and for the one next week, they're like $150. So, like, people aren't playing around. Like, they're not just gonna throw $150 down the drain, you know. And really, you end up paying more because they have money for transactions, money for waiver wire pickups and stuff like that too, that get added into the pot. So this is how it turned out, man. This one was only 14 rounds. The one that we're doing on Tuesday's 15 rounds. And then my auction league it's like 15 people as well that are on a roster. I'll show you guys the auction league right now. So my auction draft is on. I would love to stream it, but I'm not going to. I might stream it next year. This is my auction league right here. We have it on Sleeper. We draft in 5 days, which will be Wednesday, the night before the Chiefs game. And this is the league right here, baby. This is the league. Let me shrink my camera a little bit, move it up here. So this guy right here in the 12 spot, who's keeping Jacobs, Kupp, and Waddle, he's won the last 2 years in a row in this league. This is my team. I'm keeping Trevor Lawrence, Kenneth Walker, and Chris Olave. I let Breece Hall go, but I will try to probably draft Breece Hall again in this league. This is a keeper league, so these are the keepers for everybody's team. This guy right here is brand new to the league. This is going to be his first year in, and he's not really allowed to, so he's not allowed to keep anybody. But he does have a full $200 budget. This is everybody's budget right up here. I have $165 to my name after keeping all of these guys. I kept Olave for $16, which is pretty good price. Kenneth Walker for $13, which is a pretty good price. And then I traded for Trevor Lawrence like back in July, if you guys remember. And he was $1 last year. Somebody drafted him for $1, so this year I kept him for $6 because it's $5 plus whatever he was drafted for the year before. And so this is a 3-year keeper league. You can keep a player up to 3 years. So I can keep Trevor Lawrence this year, next year, and the year after if I want to. And it's going to be $5 more each year. So I paid $6 for him this year. If I keep Trevor Lawrence for 2024, it would cost me $11. So that's kind of how this league works. And this is a nomination order. I have nomination number 6. And we nominate players and we bid on them. I will say probably next year I will probably live stream this. I will go through a live stream of my actual draft, this league right here, and I will bid on players and draft a team in front of you guys, you know, on the live stream. This year I'm not gonna do it though. This year, because we're all like we all show up in person to do this, and so you don't have to show up in person to do it. You can do it remotely, like from your house, like from right here if I wanted to. But for the most part, I like to be there just because I like to, you know, I like to be around people. It's a good time. They got food and stuff there, and you kind of can get a better sense of what's going on and who likes who and all that because you're around them, you know what I mean? Whereas like if I drafted here and I was bidding on players here, by myself at my house, I don't really know what people are kind of thinking, you know, because I'm not around them. So this year I'm going to do it in person again. I've done it in person the last 2 years. I'll do it again this year. And then maybe next year I'll think about like doing this from home and live streaming it for you guys and going through an auction draft. That way, you know, I know a lot of people don't do auction drafts, so you guys don't really maybe quite not know how it works and how intense it is, but it'll be interesting. You see this guy right here next to me, he's only got $45 to spend. He ended up keeping Lamar, McCaffrey, and Harris. He's got like no money, as you can see the dollar values that he's spending on these guys. This will be his like second year of keeping McCaffrey and his second year of keeping Najee Harris. So I think it's the second year of keeping Lamar Jackson too. He kept all three of these guys last year too. But you can see he's paying a heavy price. He's only got $45. He's only got $34 for a max. This is like your max bid right here. So highest possible single bid. The reason why you can't bid all of your money is because you have to spend at least $1 on each of your players. You have to. So this will be fun. I'll let you guys know what happens on after. Like I'll probably go live Wednesday night for the most part. We're gonna do this Wednesday night. The redraft is on Tuesday night, so I'll show you guys the Tuesday night draft, and we'll go over this Wednesday night draft, and I'll tell you guys what I ended up with and for how much money, you know, I spent for each player. So it's very like I said, man, if you guys haven't done a auction draft, you guys really ought to get into one, because I think they're way more fun. It's a lot more fun than a redraft, if I'm being honest, because you can go after any player you want. In redraft, you have a draft position, and if a player gets taken before you, you have no chance at that player. In one of these, you have a chance at every single player. As long as they're not being kept by somebody, you have a chance at every single player. So, and you can bid on however much you want for whoever you want, you know what I mean? And so it's a lot of fun in that sense. This guy's going to be tough to beat. He's obviously got Chase, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson. He's got all three of them for pretty cheap too. So we have, you know, a couple of guys in this league that have pretty good teams that we're going to have to try to play some defense on and make sure that they don't get like really good running backs. Like if this guy gets Bijan and maybe another good running back, and he actually gets like a decent quarterback too, he's going to be really hard to beat this year. So we're gonna have to play some defense. But I just wanted to show you guys this. Like I said, I'll share with you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday how these drafts turned out. We'll go from there, man. I think throughout the season we're going to, I'm not gonna be as live as many people just because I work and stuff, and so I'll try to go live like once or twice a week, and we'll go over like waiver wire additions, we'll go over trade scenarios and stuff like that, and then I'll try to go like live every Saturday at some point and try to give you guys either Saturday, or I'll go live before like the Sunday games, and I'll try to give you guys players that I would and would not start on a week-to-week basis. So but until then, I guess I'll see you guys Sunday, probably Saturday or Sunday. I think Saturday I'm going to do a Madden stream, so we'll see you guys on Saturday night, probably playing Madden. And I'll answer any questions you guys got fantasy-wise on that night as well. So we'll catch you guys later. I'm out of here. Peace out. You guys have a good one. Like I said, we'll see you guys Saturday.